Before we get into more complicated PN calculations, it is important to go over a few new terms using a brief example. The example will help you to understand the terms, for you may come across these terms during a rotation, while taking one of our tests, or elsewhere. Our example is, a patient is on a 2-in-1 solution with 100 grams amino acids, 2200 total kcals TPN, where 71% of the non-protein kcals are coming from carbohydrate. So what does this statement mean? Let's break it all down. First, a 2-in-1 solution with 100 grams of amino acids. This means that the amino acids and carbohydrate are mixed and are being administered in the same solution, and that the amount of the amino acids within that solution equals 100 grams. For general knowledge, there is also a 3-in-1 solution where lipids, carbohydrates, and amino acids are all in the same solution. Next, 2200 kcals TPN of course means that they are receiving a total of 2200 kcals from this TPN administration. Nothing new there. Now to what many consider the most confusing part, the term non-protein calories. All this refers to are the calories that come from either carbohydrates or lipids. Here, 71% of the non-protein calories are coming from carbohydrates. This also indicates that the remaining non-protein calories are coming from a separate lipid emulsion, since it is not a 3-in-1 solution, and that the lipid emulsion makes up the remaining 29% of the non-protein calories. So here is the example again, but this time we will solve for some values. Start by jotting down the givens. It is a 2-in-1 solution that contains 100 grams of amino acids, and the total calorie count from this TPN administration equals 2200. Lastly, 71% of the non-protein calories comes from carbohydrate. What should we solve for first? Since we have the actual number of grams of protein, we can get this number easily. 4 kcals per gram times 100 grams equals 400 kilocalories from protein. Subtract out the protein calories from the total calories to get the remaining non-protein calories. So 2200 total calories minus the 400 protein calories, and we end up with 1800 non-protein calories remaining. So how do we get the rest of the values? Well, one of the givens informs us that 71% of the value we just solved for, the non-protein calories, is composed of carbohydrate. So multiplying 1800 by 0.71 or 71%, we can calculate that 1278 calories come from carbohydrate. The remaining calories will come from the lipid emulsion. You can subtract out 1278 from the 1800 to get 522 calories from the lipids. The other way we could determine the lipid value would be to solve in the same fashion as we did for the carbohydrate. If the carbohydrate was 71% of the non-protein calories, the lipids would make up the other 29%. So 1800 times 0.29 or 29% equals 522 calories. We are now ready to start tackling some difficult TPN questions. RDStudy.com video tutorials are produced and owned by Nutrition News Network LLC. Any copying, reuse, or redistribution, in full or in part for any purpose without the written consent of Nutrition News Network LLC is prohibited. All rights reserved.